650 aren't enough. Sometimes a monument is enough. A thoughtful gift, a home-cooked meal, a kiss, a long embrace. Often they cannot equal the deed. The payback is too enormous. The kindness of the giver unfathomable. Repaying a debt is expected in our society. It's fair, it's reasonable. But the heart has its reasons, Pascal once said, of which reason knows nothing. Can kindness ever be repaid? In February of 1862, Colonel Richard Owen, a Scottish-born geologist serving in the Union Army, was put in charge of an Indiana prisoner of war camp for Confederate soldiers. Starvation, disease, and other atrocities abounded in these camps, north and south. The death rate was astronomical. Owen changed that in his camp. He brought in books for the captured and saw that they were well fed mentally and physically. He helped the prisoners open a bakery. He allowed them to form sports teams, theatrical companies, glee clubs. He put them in charge of their own discipline. Virtually no one tried to escape. And when he was transferred out of his camp, the prisoners themselves petitioned the governor, asking that Owen remain. I know this because I was once asked to write a paean to Owen. I envisioned a glee club of prisoners singing their a cappella thanks. A champion of liberty and justice, they sing, he never asked for kindnesses repaid. But they did repay, as best they knew how. They collected funds and after his death, commissioned a monument to honor his courtesy and kindness. A monument would never serve as sufficient payback, of course, but perhaps the act of raising it was sufficient enough. A public declaration that goodness must be acknowledged, remembered, honored. Can kindness be repaid? My wife saved my life once, quite literally. Is this a debt I owe her? When we were younger and at the beginning of our friendship, I paid her dental bills. By the laws of our economy, I should expect repayment over time. Is that why she married me? Is her rescuing me from the clutches of death the final payback, allowing her at last to walk away? Obviously not. She's still here. Maybe she considers my life worth more than her dental bills, which is debatable. Nevertheless, she's hanging around until I make up the difference. What's absurd about this metaphor is that it reduces gratitude to capitalism. It's how we're taught to think in this biblical democracy of ours. There's a logic to it, a mathematical addition and subtraction of courtesies that evens things out. Biblically, it's an eye for an eye in the best sense, a benevolent revenge. But gratitude is not payback, nor is it obligation. It is, in its own way, a gift. I recently lost a friend and close business partner, not to death, but to deceit. All the time that we were friends, I now know, he was shamefully deceptive. I've lost sleep over this. I felt and still feel myself a fool, inexplicably at fault. I'm angry, I'm sad. But what's hardest, I think, is that he did me many kindnesses over the years. And for those I'm grateful. But his kindnesses and my gratitude do not excuse his crime. I'm wounded. And even though he asked to see me to explain and apologize, the bandage for this wound can't be woven by his explanation and apology. No. The weavers of my healing are you, my listeners, some strangers, some friends, who do me the kindness of hearing and not judging. I don't need your empathy. I simply need your ears. There's no logic here. The heart has its reasons, of which reason knows nothing. Gratitude is impossible to talk about. It can only be expressed and received. 650 words won't do it. 2 words may be enough.